Hi, I'm John Martin, and welcome to trend number 7, Decreasing Social Connections. This is part of the 10-part series on helping you drive the future of your transit system. Decreasing social connections. You know, we are seeing, just like that rising wealth gap and the rising health gap, we're seeing a decline in social capital over the last 25 years. And what do I mean by that? Well, we're talking about the connections that people have. There's a great little book that Robert Putnam wrote. It's a really quick read, but it's called Bowling Alone. And I think that's a great title, because we used to bowl in bowling leagues all across the country. And now bowling is still popular, but the league play of the yesterday and how that's changed is really what Robert Putnam is talking about. There's been a 58% drop in attending club meetings, a 43% drop in family meals, and a 35% drop in having friends over. When you look back in time, this is alarming, the decrease in social connections. You know, it used to be that a lot of connections were made through places of worship. And I'm talking about all faiths and denominations. That this used to be a central part in a lot of people's lives. If you look over time, the weekly church attendance has started to fall off. The same thing with church memberships, starting to fall off. So what does this mean, the consequence of this? Well, it's perhaps most felt with the older generations. 1 in 4 community-dwelling Americans aged 65 and older are considered to be socially isolated. And when you look at that group, there's a 50% increased risk of dementia and other serious medical conditions that are associated with social isolation. And this is not just one study. If you go and look up these topics online, you will see multiple studies that bear this out. That the fact is, there's a greater propensity for social isolation among older people, and in fact, that isolation corresponds to a greater incidence of health risk and illnesses. So the implication here is to think about your transit service as a social connector. And I tell you, there are a lot of arguments, and we have these in the trend sheet, that you can use as a transit system in advancing an argument of why people should support you or why they should ride on your service. But we don't want you to leave out this one about social connections, that this is a very serious one, and one that frankly is going to increase when you go back to one of those trends we talked about earlier, the increasing age wave. So look at trend number 7 on your sheet and look at those questions and think about how can you become more of a social connector in the community that you serve. Thank you.